If you've been using Flutterflow for any period of time, you probably would have been pretty happy when you woke up and saw this email in your inbox with a new rebuild page action we have now got. So I'm just going to explain, for those that don't know what it is, how to use it, and briefly why it's important that we've got it, because it's been a headache in Flutterflow for quite some time. Before we go into that, if you like the content, please consider hitting the buttons down below because it really helps with the dreaded YouTube algorithm. So anyway, let's get started. Basically, we have got a situation here where we are manipulating PDFs. I've used this in a few videos now, but basically what we're doing is taking a PDF that we've imported and we're inserting other pages into it. And we've got a button here which is select all. So we create a list of pages and we can select them individually via the checkbox, or indeed we can select them all. Now, traditionally what would happen is we are controlling the select all via a page state and we're selecting that value to true. And what happens is when we do that, our other checkboxes on the page for each individual page in the list are conditional. So therefore they only are visible when the select all value is false. So it starts off as false as default, so we've got all the checkboxes, and when we click select all, it changes to true and the checkboxes disappear, so you then cannot select them obviously because you've selected them all. Now what would happen before this new action, when we tap the select all option, our other checkboxes would not have updated, they'd have just stayed static, even though we have actually got the rebuild current page within the action. It's a bit hit and miss whether it worked, and it may have been to do with where it sits in the action chain. I'm not entirely sure, but it never really did work properly, certainly in instances like this, and it didn't because I tried it earlier. So what we used to have to do was create a page state that was simply called rebuild page, and we've actually got one here. This one is a true or false, but normally for update, normally I just did text actually, and you just change the text. I actually did a video on it, so you can force a page refresh, and that is how you used to force a page refresh in Flutterflow, was by having a variable and just randomly change the value for no reason other than to force a page refresh. And although it wasn't a big deal, it seemed a bit of a hack that wasn't necessary, and what Flutterflow have introduced in their wisdom is this new action called rebuild page. So let's just go in there, and it is in the state management section, and we've got rebuild page, and then you can rebuild the current page or no rebuild. And what that does, that forces a refresh of whatever page you happen to be working on. So what in this instance, where before we had select all and nothing happened and we had to force a page refresh, now because we've got that in the action chain, the new rebuild page, it then sort of in real time dynamically, whatever phrase you want to give it, it then refreshes the page as soon as we've changed the select all true or false value. And that's how, obviously, I said, controlling the visibility of those checkboxes, and then it rebuilds the page based on that, and that is something that didn't happen automatically before. So we're just going to test mode, just demonstrate it in action. So our select all is false, as you can see down there, and basically if we can select the checkboxes individually, but if we click select all, our checkboxes have disappeared and our select all is now true, and then we uncheck it, they appear again. So basically, because of the page rebuild, there's no hacks involved. There was a way around it obviously, but the new page rebuild action within Flutterflow is control that particular type of functionality in the way that it should be done, rather than trying to hack away around it to make it work. So well done Flutterflow, it's been a while. Let's break out the party streamers, because it's a bit of a simple thing that we should have had ages ago, but we didn't. We now have. So that's a very quick one. There really is not very much to it at all, but dynamically refreshing your page, rebuilding your page whenever you need to, based on some information that you are controlling somewhere else in your app. That is how you do it with the new rebuild page action, and that's it. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will speak to you in the next video.